Hi everyone, my name is Addye Buckley-Burnell and I'm here with the University Career Center to tell you more about how to prepare for career fairs and especially the virtual career fairs that are coming up this fall. We are located over in Mary Martin Hall and are happy to help you in your preparation. If you go to aub.ie/career, you can access our website, which will connect you to our drop-in hours, which are available via Zoom. Also, we have appointments available to meet with you via Zoom or in person to help you prepare for these events and make sure you feel as ready as you possibly can. We want you to have your resume reviewed, we want you to have appropriate attire, and those are all things that we can help you with. Now let's get started. We're going to talk today a little bit about what to expect, how to prepare, what to wear, what to bring with you, the check-in process, and what to do and say. All right. So when it comes to a career fair, we want you to know what to expect in the process. Now, a traditional career fair will happen in one location. There will typically be many booths involved and lots of employers. They tend to be very intimidating sites because there's a lot of people, rows, and a lot of other candidates that are waiting in line to talk to employers. To make you feel more prepared, we really want you to know who will be at these fairs so you can plan accordingly. Because we know that many of our students want to know who they're talking to, we have all of these things listed on our Handshake site. So if you go to Handshake and go to events, you will see a list of all of the career fairs that are going on campus. You as an Auburn University student have access to every one of those career fairs and can attend for free. For each fair, you will not only see the day and time, you will see a list of the employers who are registered to attend. We really encourage you to do your research to know who you want to speak to and when. For each employer, you will also see a list of the positions in which they are hiring for, which is of course helpful for you in preparing, whether it be an internship, a co-op, or a full-time job. For each organization, you want to know who they are, what they do, where they're located, and of course the types of positions they're looking for. Now, updating your resume is key. You want to have your best first impression, and so making sure your resume is ready to go is an easy process. We have a variety of ways for you to review your resume, and you can come into our drop-in system to get it reviewed by a human being between 10 and 3 Monday through Friday. So there's no excuse for you not to have a perfected resume ready to go for the fair. When the virtual career fairs are happening, you're going to want to have a PDF of your resume ready to be distributed. And so consider making a QR code for that document or have it available in a portfolio link so that you can give it to an employer very quickly and easily. Our virtual career fair program actually allows for you to upload a resume, so that is something that employers can access in the actual program, which makes it even easier. For Handshake, you're going to see every employer that is there. You can access Handshake through your AU Access My Campus tab or through handshake.auburn.edu. You'll get all the details there, including who will be attending and, of course, the modality of that fair. Now, for virtual fairs, you're going to want to have a setup. All right, if it's an in-person fair, it's definitely one thing where you'll go to a location. But for a virtual fair, you'll want to have your room set up in a way that is presenting the most professional image of you. So you'll, of course, want a quiet room with no distractions and dress the setting. Just like you're going to prepare to dress yourself, you want your setting to be dressed in a professional manner. Consider using a virtual background if needed to make sure that everything behind you is not distracting and portrays that image that you want to portray. You certainly don't want anything like a bed behind you or a stack of laundry needing to be folded. Instead, be really cognizant of your surroundings. You'll want to test your sound and video quality and make sure you're in an environment that has a good Wi-Fi connection, which of course is a challenge at times. If you are wanting to, you are certainly welcome to reserve one of the interview spaces in the University Career Center to have a quiet space that you can do this. We encourage you to do that. You can contact our office for more details. Sign up in advance. You'll want to make sure that you have signed up for times to meet with the employers that you're interested in meeting with. For each event, you will see when the sign-up days will begin. So this is something that you'll have to plan on a little bit more advanced than your traditional environments where you could technically show up the day of, go to your employer, stand in line. For virtual events, you will actually sign up before the event, Sign up for specific times to go meet with an employer via a technology similar to Zoom, and it will allow for you to really make your time more efficient, but also allow for you to have undivided attention of that employer, which is a very valuable resource. Being prepared for the attire, of course, is important as well. We want every student at Auburn University to feel confident in what they're wearing, to feel confident and professional when they're meeting with employers. For that reason, we want you to dress in business professional or potentially business casual, depending on the fair. If you have questions about what's appropriate in those matter, of course we're happy to answer that. But a good rule of thumb is that no jeans, shorts, athletic wear, t-shirts, or flip-flops are typically going to be appropriate. Instead, you're going to want to dress 1 to 2 steps above what you would wear every day on the job. So if you know that the position itself would have you wearing shorts and a t-shirt on the job, wearing khakis and a nice shirt might be appropriate. If you know the position itself would have you wearing business casual every day on the job, wearing a suit would be appropriate. Now, whether that be a dress or pantsuit depends on the individual. It's all based on what you feel most confident in and what you feel most comfortable in. Making sure that your clothes are appropriately fitted and typically in colors that are forgettable is ideal. We want you to be seen as professional, but we don't want you to be remembered for what you're wearing. We'll be sure to get a second opinion on anything you choose to wear for these events, and that includes things like jewelry, perfumes, and so on. When it comes to meeting virtually, you'll want to be testing out the actual clothing on camera. As we have all seen throughout the Zoom land, we have different images of what clothing look like on camera versus what they look like in reality. You may notice that some patterns do not pick up or some colors do not pick up as well as others. Plan accordingly and always test it out beforehand. For your virtual fairs, you'll want to consider still dressing from the waist down. If you have to get up, pick something up, or grab something, let a dog out of the room, whatever the case may be, you will want to make sure that you are still dressed appropriately for that employer. Now, for your career fairs, you're going to typically bring copies of your resume with you on resume paper. Now, resume paper is a cotton-based paper. It has a watermark in the background. It feels very high quality and professional. We, again, don't want any students to feel unprepared, and so you can actually get copies of your resume printed in our office for free on resume paper. We do limit that to 10 per school year, and you can see information about that on our resume page of the University Career Center site. We are happy to do that for you now, in addition to during traditional career fair seasons. For a traditional fair, you'd also want to bring a portfolio, your pen, and potentially something to write with. You'll want to make notes after you meet with an employer. For your virtual fairs, you're going to have a copy of your resume in a PDF fashion to give to them. And of course, having something to jot down notes is always appropriate. For your traditional fairs, avoiding any kind of large bag or purse would be ideal. Now, I did neglect to mention this, and I want to make sure that you're aware that for a professional attire, we do have the campus career closet that can be accessible at any time. Monday through Friday, you can actually make an appointment to visit the campus career closet and actually take up to 4 items of professional clothing for free to keep. We do not want there to be any barriers to your success, and so we provide you with professional clothing so that nothing is keeping you from attending these great opportunities. Not only will we provide you with that clothing, but we'll also provide you with those resume copies. So again, you are not being prevented from giving your best foot forward during these great opportunities to meet with employers. Now, for your virtual fairs, there is no real check-in process. You'll simply sign into the Career Fair app, and you'll be able to access your meeting times. For your traditional settings, however, we do have a check-in process. Your Career Fair Plus virtual settings, you need to sign up for times beforehand. For your traditional career fairs, you do not need to sign up for a fair beforehand. I know that can get very confusing at times. For that reason, though, we do require you to check in at the fairs when they are your traditional on-site fairs. We usually will take either your Auburn ID card or your 902 number, and we will put it in the system, and a name tag will be printed. We encourage you to put that name tag on yourself on your right-hand side. It will have your name and your major on that tag. If there's something different, if you go by a different name or your major is a dual major that didn't print up, simply ask for that change and it can be done instantly. Do not hesitate to let us know if something is not correct or you prefer a different method of communicating this information. You're going to put that on your right-hand side because when you shake hands, you want it to be right at the top of your arm. All right. Now, for, of course, your traditional settings, that's appropriate, and handshakes. We're not quite sure how that will look after the COVID-19 experience, but traditionally that is what will happen. Leave all of your bulky items at home. However, we do typically have a place for you to put your bags or your jackets if needed at these fairs. All right, so when you are approaching a career fair booth, or you are attending a virtual career fair and speaking with the employer, you will introduce yourself. In a traditional setting, you'll shake hands. In a virtual setting, you will simply introduce yourself. You will deliver your elevator speech. That is also known as your 30-second commercial. This is your chance to let people know who you are, what you're interested in, and why they should be interested in you. Keep it at 30 seconds long. Be prepared to ask questions. Do not ask things like, what do you do? All right. Have some well thought out questions that you would like to know about that employer that is not obvious on their website. So again, doing your research is really important, and it's okay to refresh your memory on that research before you approach a booth. Your elevator pitch is the most important piece here, though. This is your introduction, and it is sometimes very challenging for students to think on the spot for or to feel that they've done well. We typically get very nervous during this time. We might sweat a little bit more, and so the more that you have prepared this beforehand, the better your chances. However, you don't want it to sound too rehearsed. Let it sound natural, but hit on these key elements. The essentials. So your main facts or stats, who you are, what you're doing, what is your major, what is your career field. Then think about the past, present, and future related to why you're in that room. So what have you done to prepare for this career field? What are you looking for right now? And where do you see yourself in the future? Or how do you connect yourself with this employer? Think about where you're looking to go and how you would fit in with this company. Those are key elements of this. Keep it concise. You do not want to babble. Keep it at 30 seconds if you can, and that is the ideal situation. Now let's practice. I want you to go to this Aubie link, aub.ie/30sec. There you will find a handout that will help you in writing out your elevator pitch. I'm going to give you a second to do that. Now, if you have a printer handy, by all means, you can print this out, or you can use Adobe to fill it out on your computer. If you don't, use these as prompts and start writing it out. My name is. My major is. Since I've been a student at Auburn University, I've been involved in. My major accomplishments include. I'm interested in your organization because. This is your chance to write this out. This is your chance to practice this speech. Now, once you have written this out, I encourage you to record it and listen to it. How does it come across? Maybe send it to a friend, a parent, a trusted colleague, and get their impression. You may have forgotten some elements that somebody else might remember. I always encourage you to text a friend, text somebody you know, and say, what do you know me for? What do you see as my greatest strength? You might be surprised at what they tell you, and it could be really helpful in infusing in this statement. Now, I encourage you guys to practice this. This takes some work, and it may change up depending on each situation, but it is an important piece of this process. You will use this both in person and in virtual settings. It also comes in very handy when you're doing any kind of networking and in that lovely question that you get asked in every interview, tell me about yourself. So you will use this throughout your life, and it will consistently change. After you've delivered your 30-second commercial and engaged in a conversation, all right, you are going to ask for a business card or ask for contact information if it's virtual. Ask if you need to complete a separate application. Many employers will tell you to go online and complete an application. Take notes along the way or after you leave the table. There may also be next day interviews for some of these positions, and so finding all this information out would be helpful for you to know. Know the name and the title of the person in which you spoke to, because you'll want to write a thank you note after the fact. For some of you, that thank you note may be in email fashion. For others, it may be written out. But you'll want to know that information, and if you're in an in-person event, collect that business card. Sending those thank you notes can make a difference between an interview or a job in the long run. So do use the University Career Center website and Handshake to prepare for your career fair events. Research the employers that are involved in these fairs. Take a deep breath. Try to feel relaxed. Try to put your best foot forward and sound confident in your language. Practice your elevator speech. Try on your clothing before the event and make sure that there's no stains or they're not wrinkled. It can make a big difference in how you're portrayed. Try not to talk or text around a company or representatives or be a table hog. If you have a 15-minute appointment during the virtual career fairs, keep it to 15 minutes and try not to go too long in your responses. You will never speak negatively about anyone else, your program, another company, your peers. Only put your best foot forward and put a positive foot forward. Try to avoid bringing large bags or bulky items with you, and never go away without asking, or go into it with asking what a company does. Show them that you know who they are. Now, we at the University Career Center are here to help you prepare, but we are also part of the Career Services Network at Auburn University, which is a group of other career units who are also here to help you in this process. If your college has one of these units, please reach out to them and get some additional assistance along the way. Should you have any questions, reach out to us. We do also encourage you to follow us on social media, which can give you some great tips about 30-second commercial, resume writing, interview preparation, and of course, more information about how to prepare for events. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you have any questions, reach out, and I hope you have a great time at the fair.